We started balancing, and today we went over two problems already on balancing from words. So we've done 1 and 3 together in class. Let's go through our rules. First, you have to determine what's the reactants and which guys are the products, so you know which to write reactants on the left and which guys to put on the right, which would be your products. So recognize the words that means we're going to start talking about the products: produce, make, form, yield. Write the correct formula for every species in this equation, and then you need to make sure your subscripts are correct. So if it's ionic, you have to crisscross applesauce to make sure you have your polyatomic ion sheet out. Watch for our diatomic elements, which are Brinkelhoffs. This should be written on your periodic table already. And Cl is chlorine. That's one element. Include your state symbols if they're given. We practice oxygen gas, and so we put gas in parentheses to show our state symbols. And then we have to balance the reaction. And remember, burns in air means reacts with oxygen gas. It would be plus O2. So I am going to do 6 and 7 with you. So 6 says, make sure I have everything in frame here. First of all, it says calcium oxide and lithium carbonate react. So these guys are my reactants to form lithium hydroxide and calcium carbonate. So calcium hydroxide, and we need to make sure my numbers are correct here. So let's do that. Calcium is a +2 from your periodic table, group 2. Hydroxide is a polyatomic. Crisscross applesauce, I have that. So we have calcium hydroxide and lithium carbonate. Lithium carbonate, CO3 is a polyatomic. Lithium is a +1 from my periodic table. Carbonate's a -2, so that needs a 2 subscript there. And these guys are going to form lithium hydroxide. +1, -1, crisscross, we're good. And calcium carbonate. Okay, so now +2, -2, I could write 2 there, but then I would have to reduce, so it would end up looking like that. Okay, so remember, charges don't go with compounds. That was just a shortcut, so I'm going to get rid of those so you don't see those guys. Okay, and now we're going to balance, and some of these you don't need to use your inventory method. If you just keep going back and forth and restarting, sometimes that works great. Like this one, I have 1 calcium and 1 calcium. We're good. I have 2 hydroxides. I only have 1 hydroxide, so I'm going to put that there. Without the inventory method, we want to start again. Okay, so if you're not doing the inventory method, start again. 1 calcium, 1 calcium, 2 hydroxides, 2 hydroxides, 2 lithiums, 2 lithiums, 1 carbonate, 1 carbonate. We're balanced. I have no state symbols, so we're good. Yay. Okay, now the next one, I'm going to show you where that 6 trick, the least common multiple, does not work. Okay, and there is a very good visual to explain why it doesn't work. Okay, so this says hydrogen peroxide easily decomposes to create water and oxygen gas. So these guys are my products. So hydrogen peroxide, H2O2, decompose to form water plus oxygen gas. This is alone. I have to check for my Brinkelhoff. It is a Brinkelhoff. A 2 goes there. Okay, so now if we were to do the inventory method, which some of you guys might do because this might take a second. Boop, boop, boop. Okay, so I have 2 hydrogens and 2 oxygens. Write them in the same order. I have 2 hydrogens and I have oxygen in 2 places. So I have 1, 2, 3. And because I have it in 2 places, I can't use that least common multiple here. Okay, so when you have oxygen in 2 places here, or any element, and only 1 on this side, and we have an even number here, this side's going to have to be even to make sure it balances. So I'm going to put a 2 right here to make my oxygens even. And now notice that makes it 2, 3, 4 oxygens, and I have 4 hydrogens. Okay, why didn't we try and make it 6 on this side? You can, you're just going to go back and forth a lot. If I have 2 of the same element on one side and only 1 of it on this side, and this is an even number and these guys add up to not be even, they're not going to balance until I make that guy even. So by putting a 2 here, I went from a 3 to a 4 and made an even number. And now I'm going to go back and put a 2 here, which puts 4 by my hydrogens and a 4 by my oxygen. Okay, so that's how you do that one.